Oh no, he's in space. Alright. It's time for lore, everybody. Let's go lore. The assumed history of La-Mulana based on inspection of the ruins. The La-Mulana ruins, which we discovered, were built inside a huge living being. It was a gigantic living being thought to have fallen to Earth in prehistoric times. Its size is so great that for us, looking upon it is like an ant viewing a human and being unable to comprehend just how large the human is. According to the very few surviving legends, this huge being desired power in order to return to space? The being then bore small living beings from its own body. These new living things were the people who came to populate the Earth. These beings called the Great Being Mother. Possessing innumerable large open spaces inside its body, Lude, this mother fostered these races inside itself. The remains of this structure are what we now know as the La-Mulana ruins. We've now received a request from Elder Zelpud to re-inspect the La-Mulana ruins. However, through the past several years of research, my daughter and I have already become aware of the mysteries remaining at the ruins of La-Mulana. What was that light given off when the mother was sealed off? Where is the 0th child? What do the murals of upside-down trees seen throughout La-Mulana mean? Could there be yet another set of ruins similar to La-Mulana? I need to get my research in order so I can ascertain the truth of this terrifying theory. Well, we've answered a bunch of that. First, I must explain why I was able to ascertain the intentions of the mother, the huge living being I mentioned. Return mother to space. This, for lack of a better term, mission, has been ingrained into the very genes of mankind born from said mother. In order to fulfill this mission, the children of the mother developed and proliferated intelligent civilization and strived to create the technology necessary for space travel. Following the trail of various texts and literature left by these children, the existence and influence of this mother gradually came into view. Also, further investigation into these texts and surviving ruins brings to light the fact that it wasn't a single race born from the mother. We, as modern humankind, are what were known as the 8th children. Indeed, before us, there were 7 other races that were born, then subsequently met their destruction. These races were destroyed by the hand of the very mother who bore them. As the mother gave birth to each new race, and saw that they were unable to obtain the power necessary to return her to space, she would destroy the current race and give birth once again to another new workforce. Before undertaking the investigation of the newly discovered ruins, I would like to quickly break down my current knowledge and understanding of these 7 races. The first children were snakes from the belly down. Unable to comprehend the wishes of the mother and desiring only her power, they met their end. The second children were a race known as the Giants. Apparently they were successful in making contact with extraterrestrial beings, but were then wiped out in civil war. The third children had wings on their backs and were extremely proficient at flying. However, they attempted to recreate the mother's power and cared for nothing else till their own end. The fourth children were half man, half fish. When the third children were wiped out, a huge flood covered the earth and water, and it seems that the fourth race was created simply for the purpose of carrying on what civilization remained. The fifth children were similar in form to modern man, but were apparently somewhat smaller in size. They too were destroyed, apparently for seeking the secrets to life and death, and attempting to take advantage of the mother's power. From the sixth children on, these races were no longer born directly from the mother. Rather, they were made from clay dolls created by the fifth children with some sort of machine used to breathe life into them. It may be safe to assume that around this time, the mother became unable to bear any further children using her power alone. Possibly for this very reason, it seems that she was unable to properly lead these children, and they subsequently split into several separate races, leading to continuous war. The six children worked on their life-giving machine further, and thus were born the seventh children. They were created specifically to be a relatively powerless race in order to ensure they would not have the power to destroy themselves, nor to arouse suspicion in the mother as to what the sixth children were planning. The villagers around the entrance to the La-Mulana ruins are the remnants of this race. The sealing of La-Mulana was made possible by these descendants of the 6 children who became aware of the mother's power and continued for generations to study and research it in secret, quietly passing this wisdom down through the ages. I found the entrance to Eg-Lana in the remnants of the La-Mulana ruins. There didn't seem to be any particular traps or mechanisms of note. This may be thanks to the crystallization of the mother's power. We have in our possession the secret treasure of life. So if you have that, then nothing tries to kill you. Because, that would have been nice. The layout of the Eg-Lana ruin seems to be similar to that of La-Mulana, being split into several distinct areas. I've only just begun my investigation, but I'll record what I've discovered and noticed so far. I've no idea as to when nor how the Eg-Lana ruins were built, but it seems as though its existence has been known, and it was used as a kind of penal colony by the various races inhabiting the area throughout the generations. Those engaging in war among their own race were sent off to Eg-Lana. It was basically a way to say, if you can't stop fighting, then do it somewhere with nobody else around. Eg-Lana is Australia. To my utter surprise, there were still remnants of the various races that were thought to have died out completely. They may have been spared from destruction at the hands of the mother due to the fact that they remained inside Eg-Lana, a copy of the mother herself. It also seems as though they continue to fight amongst each other to this day. It has become apparent that Eg-Lana is structured in the shape of a huge upside-down tree. For this reason, the inhabitants of Eg-Lana refer to this place as Yggdrasil, meaning the world tree. The center contains a large trunk-like area, and from there grow several other branch-like areas. The remnants of the previous races are shut inside these branching areas. However, it seems that there is one race which is attempting to seize control of Yggdrasil, known as the Lokapala. They are one of the races comprising the 6 children. They do not give the impression of being especially intellectually advanced, to put it generously. They seem to think of nothing other than taking over Yggdrasil. 5 of the races born from the 6 children still remain in Eg-Lana. I heard this from one of the upper-class nobles of the remnants of the 6. So Freya? Freya. Okay, it's Freya. First off, the Lokapala, with machinations to take over Yggdrasil. Their efforts to seize control of Yggdrasil have been focused around an area known as the Immortal Battlefield. The races derived from the 6 children were sent to Eg-Lana for their inability to stop fighting and killing were the Aesir and the Vanir. The Aesir have sealed away the Vanir in an area known as the Divine Fortress. The Vanir are an apocalyptic race who pray for world destruction. In preparation for their long-awaited day of destruction, the Vanir have been accumulating some kind of powerful force known as the Cataclysm. They said that long ago they had the ability to create huge weapons of terrible destructive power, capable of burning up the entire surface of the Earth. Never give up on your dreams, Vanir. Maybe give up on that one. It was the Alfar who brought forth the 7th children, who saw the mother's very existence as a threat, thus embarking on plans to seal her away. Now only a handful of them remain in an area known as Anwen, the fairy world. It seems they were originally a race that had further split from the Lokapala and who have since been fighting against their former brothers, but in order to seal the mother away, their leader, the Fairy Queen, escaped from Eg-Lana to La-Mulana, where she began working with the 7th children on her plan to seal away the mother. The 8th children, me specifically, were able to figure out what was about to happen through various clues throughout the ruins of La-Mulana, and who was finally able to succeed in sealing the mother away. After all those years of work, finally having led to success, you can imagine the utter frustration and dismay I experienced when finding this copy of the mother known as Eg-Lana. I wonder if the Fairy Queen and her followers were able to predict the sealing of the mother would cause Eg-Lana to change. Oh, there's also a tribe of beings who share the fairy name too. They're very small and have wings similar to those of an insect. They could be considered the origin of what we know as fairies. The second children are said to have lived in Shrine of the Frost Giants. However, it is written in surviving texts that these second children were wiped out through civil war in the ruins of La-Mulana. It wasn't the giants who were in the Shrine of the Frost Giants, but a number of the Lokapala. It appears that none of the second children remain in Eg-Lana either. Well, there was one! For a bit. The civil war among the second children was caused by the 9 siblings who held power at the time. The texts detail 9 siblings: Zebu, Bado, Miguela, Leto, Futo, Abuto, Ji, Ribu, and Sakit. Detailed information on these siblings can be found accompanying some very nice stone statues found around the ruins of La-Mulana, now a tourist spot. Possibly due to the fact that they were indeed giants, this race turned out to provide an excellent workforce. It is said that among all of the various races born from the Mother over the centuries, it is they who came closest to achieving the final goal of returning the Mother to space. They had apparently been successful in making contact with extraterrestrial beings, and they made it as far as developing rocket ship technology, but even these advancements did not provide the power required to send the huge Mother off into space. This is where opinions divided. Continue trying to return the Mother to space, or resign themselves to the fact that the Mother would remain here on Earth. The nine siblings split into 2 opposing factions, leading to war. According to text remaining inside La-Mulana, it was the youngest brother Sakit who ultimately wiped out both sides of the conflict. Nothing is known about Sakit's motives nor intentions. That's because he was set up. The remaining survivors of the 5th children are enclosed within the Gate of the Dead, a race known as the Ennead. I don't remember if that's pronounced properly or not, but whatever. It's too late now. Apparently, they are sealed off deep down in one of the branching areas, along with their enemy race, the Amarna. The cause of their fighting is unknown. It is likely the Ennead are fighting against the Amarna because the Amarna are looking to seize power. Not yet having spoke with the Ennead people, this is all I can say with confidence. Compared with the previous races, it seems as though the 5th children were created to be much more intelligent than their predecessors. One would assume that the Mother realized that having too much power had caused previous races to set their sights on the power of the Mother herself, and therefore created this smaller, more intelligent race. Consequently, inside Eg-Lana, which is filled with an eclectic mix of the various races, these people are referred to as dwarves. However, too much intelligence can also become a form of great power. Their high intelligence caused them to fear their own mortality, regardless of the fact they had much longer lifespans than we modern humans. So the 5th children continued the research into technologies and methods for escaping death, as well as for creating life itself. The races remaining in La-Mulana constructed a massive pyramid and planned to utilize it in an attempt to absorb the Mother's power. Possibly seeing these behaviors as a form of blasphemy or sacrilege against herself, the Mother used her power to throw the language of the 5th children into confusion. Now unable to communicate properly amongst themselves, let alone with other races, the 5th children started fighting each other and eventually wiped themselves out through war. However, the life-bearing machine created by the 5th children, the Tree of Life, was used by the Mother as a tool. She was now able to create life and subsequently a new workforce without using any of her own power. Born from this Tree of Life was the race known as the 6th children, who were aesthetically similar to modern man. Having been created from clay, their lifespans are immensely longer than ours. It was these 6 children for whom the influence of the Mother was considerably weakened, who began to consider sealing the Mother away. Within Takamagahara Shrine reside the remaining survivors of the 1st children. To think that one day I would actually come into contact with a living snake person. As an archaeologist, it's basically like winning the lottery. It seems that the race known as the Kotoamatsu remain within Eg-Lana. Apparently, the Kotoamatsu are also sealed off deep in one of the branching areas as well. From what I can gather, someone seems to be controlling some of the Kotoamatsu, someone known as the Anunnaki. There are references to the Anunnaki in the records found in the La-Mulana ruins. Put simply, they are an alien race known as the Sky People. If this is indeed the case, then this would conflict with the story about the 2nd children being the first to make contact with extraterrestrial beings. Has the 1st children really already made contact with aliens? In ancient cultures and texts all around the world, there are stories found in ruins and various writings mentioning beings thought to have been of alien races coming to Earth and presenting mankind with the gift of civilization. Manipulating the Kotoamatsu and coming down to Earth, what could their intentions be? I feel as though my investigation of Eg-Lana will reveal mind-boggling secrets behind each of the respective races remaining there. The plot has thickened further. The third children are the race of winged beings found in Heaven's Labyrinth. The Gigas race has been sealed inside by the race known as the Olympians. However, the Olympians are considered to be a fair and just race, and it seems strange that I detect no sense of ambition nor drive from them. Hydrate. This is why I've been avoiding this. It's a lot. We visual novel now. That's good too. My neck's really tight today. Jesse and I went to Topgolf the other day, and I worked out some muscles that I haven't worked out in a while, so now everything's sore. La-Mulana. Okay. The third children had wings and were apparently able to fly. Consequently, their physical composition varied greatly from that of modern man. The backs of their heads were elongated and they had very thin bodies. It was possible they had extremely lightweight bones as well, much like birds. According to records I found during my investigation of the La-Mulana ruins, they apparently adopted the civilization and culture of the first children. A pair of twins, Eg-Lana and Buranun, were among the first survivors of the first children. That means that the civilization of the first children was acquired from these two twins. They then embarked on the task of creating a copy of the mother. Back in the La-Mulana ruins, I defeated monsters known as Nua and Tiamat, said to have been born from an imitation of the mother's power. However, they were both gigantic snake women. I suppose accurately recreating the mother's power must have been impossible for them. It's somewhat understandable that this sort of behavior would cause the mother to wipe them all out. According to the Olympians, it was the Gigas who were attempting to create this copy of the mother, but I guess we'll see what kind of further information turns up. Hi, Del! Welcome in! How's it going? Welcome, everybody. What were you up to? We're just doing story time. Thank you for doing the shout out. I think most people here know Del, but if you don't know Del, go follow Del. Driving trucks badly in your factory? That's like your two favorite things. You're playing Satisfactory, but you've managed to work Euro Truck Simulator into it. Delightful. Well, you've come at a great time. All I'm doing right now is reading. It's basically like combined backstory from the first game and stuff that we've sort of half figured out from this game. I'm hoping that somewhere within this, there is a clue about where to go next. The ultimate goal of the Alpha plan to seal away the mothers was the complete independence of humanity from the mother. Having been born in Eg-Lana, they realized the danger of her power. Having decided to seal off Eg-Lana, basically a copy of the mother, they must have figured that they would have to seal off La-Mulana as well, La-Mulana being the mother herself. Understanding that they themselves would be unable to stand up to the mother on their own, they passed their mission on to the next generation, the seventh children. They made the four philosophers, the leaders of the seventh children, promise to ensure the fairy's survival in exchange for information from Eg-Lana. Since some of the mother's influence remained even in the seventh children, they were unable to seal her off directly, leading them to perform further work on Yggdrasil and subsequently create the eighth children, us. We were born as a short-lived, comparatively weakened race with no knowledge of the mother and no way for her influence to affect us. La-Mulana itself acted as a sort of training ground, one with the power to overcome the dangers of these ruins, that is to say, I myself, finally succeeded in sealing the mother away. Immediately after the sealing of La-Mulana, they apparently sought to seal off Eg-Lana as well, since it had lost the mother's power. However, something changed the game. The ninth child, a physical copy of the mother's very mind, was created just before the mother's death. Until that point, Eg-Lana was simply a shell, a mindless copy of the mother's physical body. But now, in the form of the ninth child, the body gained a mind and was subsequently awakened. Neither the Alpha nor the seventh children were able to stand up against the mother's power. Once again, we, the eighth children, free from the mother's influence, became the main players. When investigating Eg-Lana, the copy of the mother, it was incredibly fortunate that there still remained survivors from each previous race. I was able to investigate matters not made clear by the remaining texts alone. However, I also came upon an even bigger mystery. It was likely thanks to the fruits of the efforts of the sixth children, the Althar, that the relatively young seventh children were able to thoroughly investigate the ruins of La-Mulana and put together the means to seal off the mother. While the mother's influence over them was comparably weaker than previous races, they were not completely free of her power. Yet they were able to continue their research carefully without being noticed by her. Even so, it is quite strange that the technology they developed to seal off Eg-Lana was possibly even more advanced than that used in La-Mulana. I believe that the Alpha may have been planning to take advantage of a certain mechanism to seal Eg-Lana. If this is indeed the case, then who was it who implemented said mechanism? The Sky People, of which there are numerous legends? Where are they? Are they even still alive? Seems we don't have much time left. There are those among the seventh children who await a sealing with a sense of dread you'd reserve for the end of the world. Sort of estranged parent syndrome in response to the impending loss of this absolute existence that has been ingrained into their very genes. It would seem that the Anunnaki were indeed extraterrestrial beings. Apparently they came to Earth from a place known as Nibiru, whether it was for the purpose of finding a new place to live, or rather to seek out resources, is unknown. What is known is they planned to take control of the Earth. Either way, they became aware of the existence of both La-Mulana and Eg-Lana. Seems to me that they've been involved in Earth's affairs since the time of the first children. Considering the decline of the first children, and the fragmentation of the second children, the involvement of the Anunnaki in both these and all of the subsequent occurrences becomes clear. Or so I feel, at least. I believe it was they who implemented this huge device inside the ruins for the purpose of sealing off both sites. However, said device remains within the ruins unused, possibly because the Anunnaki went extinct before they could use it. But the Alpha must have conceived of a way to make use of this device that's constructed unlike anything else in these ruins. A corridor of blood. Okay. I appreciate that this music remains unchanged. I'm saving even though all I've done is read lore. Okay. Okay, so by reading through all of the journal entries, I made the last journal entry appear retroactively. Excuse me? Okay. One more. The Eg-Lana seal. It turns out that the situation surrounding the ruins of La-Mulana was even more dangerous than I had previously thought. Apparently, had I not succeeded in sealing the ruins off, this dreadful destructive power could likely have put to use several years ago. Furthermore, the awakening of Eg-Lana has caused a slew of problems. While war has never ceased within the ruins, there had been no significantly outstanding movement within the site for generations. The newly awakened Eg-Lana is now lousy with monsters, and the palpable hatred brewing within Eg-Lana serves to exacerbate the ongoing wars. Eg-Lana was created here on Earth. Unlike the Mother, it has no desire to return to space. The mind it has acquired from the Mother consists of nothing but hatred and rage. The collaborative plan with the Alpha appears to be progressing thanks in part to the efforts of my daughter. We too have been making what contribution we can through our own investigative efforts, while also watching over her growth and development, albeit from afar. The now fully awakened Eg-Lana will now, in accordance with the Mother's will, most likely attempt to destroy mankind. It is said that the enormous giants known as the Jotun will rise up from the underworld, long sealed away down in the deepest depths of the ruin, and launch their attack on our kind. There are those races which hope for the end, and the Lokapala, still hungry for control of Yggdrasil, have also begun to act. It would appear that it is actually the Lokapala who surround this tent at this very moment. With only the two of us, it would be impossible to take them all on. The purpose of their altar is... Oh no, curry stank! Where's Dad? Oh, he's there. Cool. Yeah! Let's go! Give me that shit! We're out of here! Get fucked! Hi? No, stop. Don't like that. Oh, these are the Jotun? Oh, they ain't shit. Oh, as it turns out, actually, the rope does respawn, because I used it earlier in the game. I face planted in front of Dindra. It was awesome. You want to beef up your weapons for the final battle. Try okay. I think I will. Thanks very much. Okay, set 2. Battle. Powers up every primary weapon other than the whip. Okay. It doesn't make the whip weaker, though, right? Well, I don't know what that does, but maybe it's cool. Alright, well, anyway. Secret Treasure of Life obtained. Oh, and I don't have to do the... I don't have to go from Hall of Malice anymore. I can just walk the hell in. That was... Secret Treasure is not a selectable item. Yell all the things! Use the angry face! Oh, just... Oh, or just walk in, I guess. That's fine. Oh, hey, I remember you! Everybody, we're back to Spiral Hell! Alright, let's get all equipped up. Hey, you guys are new. Hey, it's a Ganungagop. I don't know what those are, but I've heard it before and I know it's funny to say. You know what? I turned the volume down while I was reading. I vaguely recognize the music. I wouldn't have heard it if someone hadn't pointed it out. Oh, okay, that's a platform. Oh, wow, you can't approach them from behind. The sword is too damn long. Really should go back and do Hell Temple. Okay, out comes Mjolnir. Whoa! I remember you. I literally just tried to slide. Damn, all my homies hate Hell Temple, huh? Like, is that literally the only thing that'll damage him? Or have I just not found the spot? Because that, yeah. Okay. I will say that of all the aspects of this game's design that I really like, I'll never really be a big fan of bullshit for difficulty. That's no fun. Oh, okay. Rude. We found it. I wouldn't say no to a map. Ah, fuck.
I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map!
I'm gonna assume that mini-boss doesn't respawn. So you call it DLC for people who wanted, like, more challenge, but was it actually DLC or was it just a hidden thing? Yo, ain't that some shit? God damn, dude. Oh. You son of a stupid... I hate this... Golf rage is especially appropriate since I'm currently sore from literally playing golf. Like, physically. Oh, that's a weird situation. These are just the same things from before. The ones in Icefire Treetop. They're like the same exact enemy type. Okay, yes, hello, hi. Okay. So... Oh, hey, it's you again. I remember you. Hey, stop it. It's times like this I'm really thankful for fur. Thanks. Oh, I can't walk through those. Okay, got it. Thanks.